Hey, welcome to episode of Chad's Reviews. Another Skype review, this time with Ryan Stumpy Joe Jr. How you doing?
Good, man.
It's been like a year since we last did a Skype review. We shouldn't have waited so long.
Yeah, well, it's sometimes hard to find, similar beers that we can get, but
Yeah.
in
Well,
this
this is
case,
one.
you sent me the beer, so
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't get this out in California, but so I
definitely
sent it to
not.
you. This is a New York beer. This is the fairly new brewery, Three Heads Brewing. The Kind IPA. They're out of Rochester. It's like their brewery's in Honeyone or something like that. Honeyone Falls, but
Yeah, I can't pronounce that.
I'm not even sure either. 6.8% ABV, 76 IBU, so it's gonna be pretty bitter. And if you look at that description on there, it says it's like taking a walk through a pine forest and ending up at a citrus farm.
Yeah,
So
I like that description.
yeah.
I hope it the beer tastes like that. That'd be good.
All right, so I got a pretty standard looking IPA here. It's kind of a
Yep.
muddier looking.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of haze in mine. Doesn't look like it's filtered at all.
Yeah, I can see. It's too bad you can't see on camera, but I can see like speckles just floating in the whole thing. Like it's like a lava lamp with like really tiny speckles. You know?
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, it definitely has a sweeter, orangey or citrusy
Yeah.
aroma to it.
So they're probably using Amarillo because this is the same. It's the same orange that I got from my homebrew. I used
Yeah,
Amarillo.
that would be my guess as well.
Then
I
you
mean, I
don't really
do get
get.
a little bit of earthy pininess underneath, but
Yeah, yeah. Ready
smells
to.
like dry hop with a lot of Amarillo.
Yeah. Let's get in here.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. Hmm. It's funny, the bottle said walking through. What did it say? Walking through a pine forest and ending up in a citrus farm. I think it's the other way around. Because I get like citrus first and then like pine on the back end.
Yeah, I agree. I would say it's sweeter up front on the palate, and then with like sweeter orange notes, maybe even some sweeter malt, and then yeah, you're hit with that really piney bitterness.
Yeah. The second swig there, I was like paying more attention and I get like a lot of bitterness right away. Kind of like a dry, just like kind of straight up more dry type, similar to like what my homebrew was, like that rustic, earthy bitterness. Um, then kind of citrus through the middle, so it's actually refreshing there for a second or two. And then on the back end, you're kind of getting like pine needles. It's not like this sticky, sappy pine.
Yeah, it's very drying on the back end. Good amount of bitterness up front. I would say it's definitely on the hop forward side of
Yeah,
IPAs.
yeah. It's good. It's good bitterness through the whole thing. Like there's not even a moment here where it's not bitter.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a case though. Like the more we drink it, maybe that malt will kind of come up forward a little bit more and kind of balance it out a touch more, and our palate will get used to the bitterness.
Yeah,
But it's pretty bitter like initially on the tongue.
yeah, yeah. There's a moment there where it's refreshing, which is seems weird because it's so bitter. I wish the citrus flavor had been a little more pronounced. I mean, there's tons of Amarillo in the nose, but assuming they're using Amarillo, I don't know. But
Yeah, it's some kind of orangey, citrusy, sweeter grapefruit kind of
yeah,
aroma.
like I'm not getting like that fruity pebbles kind of taste you get like in the Stone IPA or Racer 5, something like that. And it's not quite as juicy as a Pliny.
Yeah, I'm starting to notice though the malt comes through a little bit more. It's just kind of like a sweet breadiness, but it's
Yeah,
they're probably not using a whole lot of caramel malt based on the color. It seems kind of light. Maybe
yeah,
some wheat in there, maybe a touch of wheat kind of character.
yeah. That might explain the cloudiness. Wheat helps with like the body and the head retention, right?
Yeah, I mean I think it has pretty good body. I mean it's definitely like a medium light mouthfeel, but it's a fairly creamy IPA.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I mean you still have that kind of intense dryness on the back end.
yeah. Well, now that I'm getting used to it, like we said at the beginning of the review, I am noticing more of the maltiness now. It's like a little bit of like caramel, um, kind of a general earthiness to it. You know,
Yeah,
it's not
actually, I'm
as
thinking.
dry and rustic as it was.
Yeah, actually, you want to. I think the sweetness that's kind of coming through the malt is actually aiding a little bit in the producing a little more like citrus character. I'm noticing. I
Yeah.
just think there's so much of that as that pine forest kind of character that's kind of dominates so much. But I think the citrus kind of is a little more hidden.
I mean, as far as I guess we kind of touched on drinkability, but I mean, I think it is. You know, like I said, it's a very drinkable IPA because there's some that when you get up this bitter, and 6.8 is pretty standard for an IPA. It's definitely not a double or an imperial. Um, so it is quite drinkable. Like I'm not gonna have any problem killing this whole bottle by myself, and it would be a lot more fun if I had this with wings and pizza or just some like extra sharp cheddar cheese would be great. But just for like a nice drinkable IPA, if that's what they're going for, I think they succeeded on that. And I guess an 8 out of 10, like a B plus. What do you think?
I'm more. I'm B. I think it's definitely above average. Uh, I wish there was a bit more complexity to it. I think it's. I mean, there's some subtle complexity to it, but I
Yeah,
wish maybe to get a little more variety on the hop character. It might help out somewhat.
yeah,
And then just kind of the nose really kind of fools you on the taste. I
yeah,
think because of the dry hopping, so it's kind of a little let down in that respect. But other than that, yeah, it's solid, drinkable. Um, I like that it's nice and hop forward. It's just not hugely complex on the character of it.
yeah. All right, well, I guess that about wraps it up for the Three Heads, the Kind IPA. That's funny because Simon and I just did 6 Point the Crisp, and I said I hate it when breweries call a beer the something. It's hard to do. It's hard to like say it. But yeah. Anyways, thanks to Ryan, better known as Stumpy Joe Jr., out there in San Diego for doing this Skype review with me. And thanks to you guys out there for
Yeah,
watching, and we'll see you next time.
yeah.
Cheers.
Thanks for the beer, Chad.
Yep.
Cheers.